So, please, whenever you join, check if you are muted. If not, then you have to mute your mic. Okay. Then, if you want to put across a question, you can unmute and then signal me. I will let you ask your question. So then we are beginning this lecture. Today we're going to look at group data, how we can handle group data. In a sense, that's how we can find the mean, median, and then the mode of a group data. We will also be looking at how to find the first quartile, third quartile, and then the interquartile range of a group data. Then there's another aspect that I did not add. We will look at how to find the variance and then the standard deviation of a group data. Okay. So with this in mind, I think we already know what the mean, the median, and the mode is. And we also know what the first quartile, the third quartile, and then the interquartile range is. So all what we're going to do today is to look at it from the group data perspective. Okay. When we say a group data, there is a data that looks like this. Okay. So when you are looking at the group data, within maybe 10 to 12 number of patients, you have a certain frequency of what? 4. So you can see that this particular interval is full of what? A group of people. This particular interval is full of what? A group of people. So let's look at what this data says. So this is how to find the mean of a group data. So this is what the question says. The following table gives the frequency distribution of the number of patients recorded each day during the past 50 days at the Kolebu Hospital. The instruction is simple. Calculate the mean. Okay. The instruction is simple. Calculate the mean. So in the past 50 days, this is how we explain this. In the past 50 days, on days of, we recorded 10 to 12 patients on 4 days. Okay. The number of patients from 10 to 12 came in what? 4 days. So it means 4 out of the 50 days, we recorded 10 to 12 patients. 12 out of the 50 days, the hospital recorded 13 to 15 patients. 20 out of the 50 days, the hospital recorded 16 to 18 patients. And then 14 out of the 50 days, the hospital recorded 19 to what? 21 patients. So in all, if you are told to calculate the mean, you are looking at the average number of patients per day. We are looking at the average number of patients per day. So how do we go about this? Okay. So to find the average number of patients per day, we call something the class midpoint. Okay. The class midpoint is the average of these intervals. Okay. The class midpoint is the average of this interval. So over here, when we are looking at the class midpoint of from 10 to 12, it will be what? 10 plus 12, which will be 22, and the average of it, so 22 divided by 2 will give us what? 11. So that is what we denote as what? X. So there's the data that has been given. There's also the frequency, which is this, okay? The sum of the frequency is the total number of what? Days. But when here, we want to find the mean of the number of patients per day. Okay. So the first thing is for us to find the class midpoint. The class midpoint is this lower value plus this higher value giving us 22 divided by 2, it will give us what? 11. Then when we move here, 13 plus 15 will give us 28. Divided by 2, we will get 14. Class midpoint is that we are looking at the middle point in these two values. We are also looking at the middle point in these two values. And to find the middle points in these two values, you may have to find their average. And if you have 16 plus what? 18, this will give us 34. Okay, 34 divided by 2 will give us the class midpoint of what? 17. If we have 19 plus 21, this will give us 40. 40 divided by 2 will give us this class midpoint. Okay, so we have seen how we can find our class midpoint. Okay, the midpoint is the average of the two, which is this. So then, the mean of a group data is giving us sigma fx. That means add fx, which is frequency times the class midpoint, divided by the number of observations. So over here, you will have to find our fx. This is our frequency, this is our x. So frequency times x, 4 times 11 will give us 44. 12 times 14 will give us 168. 20 times 17 will give us 340. 14 times 20 will give us 208. So at the end of the day, to find the mean of a group data, it is sigma fx. You know, this is the fx. When we add all of them, it means we are summing the fx. So when we sum all these, we get what? Sigma fx, which is 832. And we already have our total frequency. We already have our total frequency, which is giving us what? 50. So to find the average of the number of days that the number of patients that visited the hospital, it is giving us what? Sigma fx, which we found to be 832, divided by what? 50. And this will give us what? 16.64. So what does this mean? This means that an average of 16.64 patients visits the hospital every day. An average of what? 16.64 patients visits the hospital every day. Okay, so that is it with finding the mean. You will therefore go to where we may have to find the median. Okay, so in finding the median, we are going to look at how we can apply this robust formula to find the median when we are dealing with what? A group data. Okay, so hello, somebody has a question? Howard, do you have any question?
No.
Okay, okay. So now let's look at how we can find the median. Okay, in the median in the group data can be found with this expression. Okay, what are these values? Okay, this LM here is the lower boundary of the median class. Okay, this N is the total number of observations. This big F is the cumulative frequency before class median. I will tell you what the cumulative frequency is from the table. And then this N, like I said, is the total frequency. This Fm is the frequency of the class median. And then this I is the class width. Okay, the class width. So while I'll go to the data and I will show you how we can extract these values LM, N, F, FM, and I from the table. Okay. So, and it is just a look and say thing. You can look at it, you look at it, and then you can pick them up from the table. So the table we'll be using is this table. And in using this table, we want to find our median. Okay. So for the median, you all know that it is when you arrange the values and then you divide it into two, where the middle values lies, and when you arrange it in ascending order and you divide it into two, where the middle value lies is where your median class is. Okay. So over here, when we add all these, we get what? 50. And you can see that these ones has already been arranged in order. Okay. The travel times has been arranged in order. And this is the frequencies. Okay. So the number of observations that we have here is what? When we add all these frequencies, we get what? 50. 50 divided by 2 is helping us to locate where our class midpoint or median can be found. Okay. So when we add this and we divide it by 2, we get what? The 25th position. Okay. So
Minimum.
where will we find our 25th position? That is when we construct our cumulative frequency. Okay. So cumulative frequency means add this frequency downwards. You are adding this frequency downwards. So let's start by finding our cumulative frequency. So our first frequency is 8. Okay. When we add 8 to 14, we will get 22. When we add 22 to 12, we will get 34. When we add 34 to 9, we will get 43. And when we add 43 to 7, we will get 50. So this is how you find your cumulative frequency. You add your values downwards. And then at the end of the day, it will amount to the total frequency, which is what? 50. So 8 plus 14 will give us 22. 22 plus 12 will give us 34. 34 plus 9 will give us 43. 43 plus 7 will give us what? 50. So this is how we find our cumulative frequency. Now, what is left for us is for us to find the median. We have our cumulative frequency. To find the median, you have to divide the total frequency by 2 because median is the middle value. Okay, so when we divide the total frequency by 2, we get 25. This means that our median is at the 25th position. Okay, so in the 25th position, where can we find our 25th position? It means our first 8 position will be here. Okay, then our 22nd position will be here. Then it means that our 25th position will fall in this place because the first 8 is here. Adding to this, we get to what? 22nd position. Then adding to this, we get to 34. So we can pinpoint that our 25th position will be found within this group. Okay. So this becomes our median class. So this side becomes our median class because the 25th position will be found here. So now that we know our median class, what will be the lower class boundary? Where is it? The lower boundary of what? The median class. So this is where our median class lies. Okay. what will be, this is the boundary, okay? This is what? The lower boundary. This is the upper boundary, okay? The lower class boundary of the median class, sorry, this is the lower limit. This is what? The upper limit. But the lower class boundary of the median class is when we subtract 0.5 from this, okay? When you subtract 0.5 from this, it gives you the lower class boundary, which is what? 20.5. So we have seen how we can find our lower class boundary. It is first you locate your median class because our 20p position falls here. Okay. So then this becomes the lower class limit, the upper class limit. But to find the boundaries, you may have to subtract 0.5 from this expression. And when you subtract 0.5 from this expression, you get what? 20.5. So we've seen how to find our lower class boundary. This FM, okay, is the frequency on your median class. Is the frequency on your median class. So we are saying that this is our median class. The frequency on our median class is 12, which is this. Okay. This 22 is the cumulative frequency before our median class. And the cumulative frequency before our median class is what? 22. This I here is the class width. The class width is the distance from and to. Okay, so if we are moving from 1 to 10, it means our class width is what? 10. Because we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our class width will be 10. So let me go over again. First, for you to find your median class, you divide the total frequency 50 by 2 and you get 25. It means that your median class will be at where your 20p position is. So position 1, 2, 3 up to 8 will be here. Then up to position 22 will be here. But we know that position 23, 24, 25 will be found in this group. So this one becomes our median class. And if we have this as our median class, what is our class limit there? The class limits are 21 and what? 30. But for us to find the lower class boundary, we may have to subtract 0.5 from this value. When we subtract 0.5 from this value, we get 20.5. So this is the lower class boundary. Then we look at the frequency on the median class. The frequency on the median class is this, which is 12. Then here we look at the cumulative frequency before the median class. And the cumulative frequency before the median class is what? 22. So now that we have this information, let's go and find our median. So then you can see that this is our lower class boundary, which is 20.5, plus the total observation, which is 50 divided by 2, which is 25. Then this one is the cumulative frequency before the median class, which is 22. And this is the frequency on the median class, which is 12, times I, which is what? The class width, which is 10. So when we 22 from 24 will give us 3. 3 over 12 times 10 plus 20.5 will give us what? 23. Okay. It means that here we are looking at time to travel to work. It means that When we divide these 50 people into two, okay, we can say that 25 persons take less than 30 minutes to travel to work, and then another 25 persons take more than 23 minutes to travel to work. Because it is the median, we split the group into two. And we are looking at those that takes less than 23 minutes and those that takes more than what? 23 minutes. And in each case, 50 divided by 2 is what? 25. So the median is saying that 23 of them takes, 25 of them takes less than 23 minutes to travel to work. And then what? Another 25 takes more than 23 minutes to travel to work. So then we can also look at how we can find the quartiles using the same approach, okay? To find the quartiles, the only difference between the median and then the quartiles is that over here we divided F by 2, the total observation by 2. But over here, we divide for the first quartile. Remember, it is the first quarter. So we may have to divide it by what? 4. Then here, because it is the 3 quarters, we may have to multiply it by 3 and divide it by a quarter. Okay. So this basically is what? The 70% and this is what? The 25%. So we want to look at where 25% of our data lies and then where 17% to 75% of our data lies. Okay. So what we do first is this one will be the lower class limit of the first quartile. This will be the frequency of the first quartile, and this will be the frequency before the first quartile. This will be the lower class limit of the third quartile.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, please.
Musa.
I didn't get the median one.
Okay.
I didn't understand the median, please.
Okay. So normally, median is when you arrange your data and you pick the middle point. Okay. Is that okay? So when you arrange your data and you pick the middle point, okay. But here is the case, our data is not a raw data. It is, we will be off in 10 minutes time, but I'll send a new link so that we all join, okay?
Okay.
So you see that these ones has been arranged in order already, 1 to 10, 11 to 22. But what is left for us is for us to find the middle of this. But this one is what? A group. And for us to do that, it is this formula that we use to find what is the middle observation when you have a group data, like this, okay? So that is what this formula is there to help us. This LM here is the lower class boundary. This F here is the frequency, the cumulative frequency before the median class. This F here is the frequency of the median class. And this I here is the class width. So that is why I try doing it on this table so that you will see what I mean by these values, okay? So first, we may have to find the middle value, okay, for this data. So to find the middle value, we may have to find what we call the cumulative frequency. So this is the first frequency. Cumulative frequency is that add your frequency downwards. So 8 plus 14 will give us, so the first frequency is 8. 8 plus 14 will give us 22. 22 plus 12 will give us 34. 34 plus 9 will give us 48. 48 plus 7 will give us 50. It means that our total frequency is what? 50. Now, if this is the people that we are looking at are 50, where will our middle value lie? our middle value will lie between we taking the 50 and dividing it by 2. It means that the middle of the 50 will be at where? The 25th position, okay? But we see from the cumulative frequency, what we see from the cumulative frequency is that the 25th position will not be here because this one is made up of 8 people. So this will be the first 8. This will be the 22nd, the first 22nd people. But you will see that the 25th people will be in this group, okay? In this group. So if it will be in this group, what is the lower class boundary here? The lower class boundary here is this 21 minus
Yeah.
0.5.
Okay.
Minus 0.5, which will give us 20.5. What will be the frequency on this median class? That will be what? 12, which is this value. And what will be the cumulative frequency before this median class? That will be this 22. So cumulative frequency before the median class, 22. Frequency on the median class is 12. The lower class boundary of the median class is 20.5. And then the class width. The class width is we are moving from 1 to 10, 11 to 20. It has the same width from 1 to 10, so that the difference, the distance from 1 to 10 is what? 10. Okay. So that is how we got these values. So after getting these values, we just come and put them in this value, in this formula. 50 divided by 2 minus 22 divided by 12 times 10 plus 20.5 will give us what? 23. So it means that if we are looking at time to travel to work, it means when we split these people into 2, it means that